I'm Katrina, and this is Sew and Tare, and today we are installing rope lights for the quail. This video was done on the same day in February that the shade cloth video was completed, so watch that one first if you haven't watched already, and then go to this one. So for the quail, I also have this rope light that I'm going to put around. I'm going to put it around the top of the shade cloth. And what that will do is it will allow them to have enough light year-round to lay eggs. Coturnix quail need about 16 hours of light to consistently lay eggs year-round. Naturally, they get a break. They get a long break in the wintertime and then start laying again in the summertime. And depending on where you are, that might be flopped. If you're in southern latitude. But if you're close to the equator, they might lay and keep laying. But if you're further away from the equator, you might need more light than someone closer to the equator. So that's what this is for. And I'm actually going to use the same zip ties to attach this as the other ones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach the shade cloth with zip ties, but I'm going to leave it super loose and then thread this through it. Next is the lights. So I got this online. And this is just rope lights. It is, well, it's that. You have two ends on here, and it's important to know which end you're starting with. So I need to figure out which end I'm plugging into. If I plug in over here, I need to either have it go across the pathway into the garage or over the gate into the garage or something like that. If I plug it in on this side, I need to have it run all the way down the fence into the screen and porch, and so I have to make that decision still. Let's make that decision. Alright, we have decided to utilize the same hole that we put the water in for the lighting. So I just unscrewed this and unplugged this. This is going to be the plug on the outside. We're going to hook it underneath this waterer, and that's going to be where things plug in. That's why it's protected from the rain and stuff. Right now I'm just going to put that there. But I'll go inside and poke this out, and we can begin. All right, can you get this, please?
Get what?
This. I'm gonna hand it up.
Where are you?
I can't see where I'm handing it, but it should be right underneath the water. Am I right?
Yeah. Okay.
You pull that. Keep pulling it.
How far is it going?
Cool. Right there. Right there.
Okay.
Now plug it in to the plug.
Plug it into the plug?
On top.
Oh, okay.
I'm just, so it doesn't fall back through is all I'm saying. Okay. So it plugs in. No, plug it in first and then screw it on.
It plugs in after you screw it in.
Okay. Alright. Thank you. So I'll just talk to the camera right here and I'll do it again here. Just a minute. Alright, so it's a little tedious to begin with because you have to get it through all of the holes, or you have to get it through all of the zip ties, and you're putting the whole length through. I know you guys can't see perfectly, but we'll get to that later. So, I'm running this through, can the camera see this? I think so. I'm running this through these zip ties that we put up, and I've gotten through 3 of them so far. And what you don't want to, it comes in a roll, so you want to make sure that the roll can untwist and not kink. So So if you see it kinking, you just pull and it'll unkink, just like that. Once you get it through a few of them, you won't have that issue anymore. Once you get the whole thing through a few of them, because it will have straightened out a little bit. I love that none of the bunnies are freaking out that I'm underneath them. They're just like, oh, okay, you can be underneath me.
Do you need me to untangle it while you pull it?
It's just tied in a knot, so we're gonna have to undo that one part. Or we're gonna have to pass it through again. The end is tied in a knot.
I think that can go out to the wire outside.
Okay, but my point is it's tied in a knot and it needs to be untied. So if you can go outside and unplug it and pass it through, I'll pass it through again. Okay, right there. Can you put it somewhere so that it doesn't fall back in? Okay. Alright. So now we pulled it and gotten rid of that knot. Make sure I don't leave another knot. It should be pretty easy to pull now. And whew. But hey, it's probably best to do this before you have animals in here, but I did not. So, when doing this, it is important to make sure it doesn't get kinked, because if you pull then, you might ruin the whole thing or have a loop, or it might not matter to you at all. Hi, Dee Dee. Alright. So I forgot to leave these two loose, but that's okay. I might add one down here later just for the rope, which will be fine. This is getting some twists in it. I kind of untwist it a little bit. Now, when we go down here, this is a deep litter system. There may be a point where this is underneath the litter, and that's going to be okay. It doesn't get hot enough to start a fire or anything like that. So you don't really have to be concerned too much about that. If you want to, you can always move it away from it and it'll be fine. So the reason why I have it up near the top of the cloth is, one, to make use of those twist ties, and two, because when the light is brought up, it expands the light more outward. So think about if you have a flashlight and you hold it at the ground level towards the ground, it's going to light up a little area, and the higher you hold it, the more area it's going to light up. It's the same idea. So again, over here I am going to make over here I am going to make a little bit, I'm going to do a zip tie here. I'm going to do that right now actually. So again, I forgot to leave these open. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to zip tie it a little bit away from the door. That way I don't trip on it when I come in. There you go. So this is going to turn and go up. Move their food. It's a good idea whenever you have a corner to, go ahead and pull that all the way through that corner. That way you can pull more efficiently later. So we have reached the end of our shade cloth and we have some more left. So ideally this would go all the way around the aviary and it's not going to reach. So it will go to the corner and a little less than halfway down there. Right now, because my birds are young, no, they're not young. Right now, because my birds have not had light, I am going to just set this on the ground, and it should have enough light right now to get that settled, and then I'll come back and I will use probably like a hook that you screw into the wall, or you know, some other attachment that I can attach this of about the same height. So that, and then it will also light up. It is long enough to light up behind the sandbox, so that doesn't get too dark. So that's all we're gonna do for now, and we're gonna still have to plug it in, get an extension cord. We're thinking about putting the extension cord through an old garden hose, and that would be for a couple of reasons. One, it's more identifiable than something that might just get lost in the chips. You know, it might get buried in the wood chips, because we do have a lot of wood chips. And then two, if we're digging or raking out those wood chips, because I do use them in particular areas, I use it as a composting system. So in those areas, you know, if we stab through it, we're not stabbing into an electrical line, or we're not stabbing into that extension cord, and then we would be, you know, we would stop short of cutting it if it was in a hose. It's just an idea, not sure what we're going to end up doing, but I'm glad this is done. So from the inside, we have, that's where we started. It goes around here, and here's that. So that is how I light to give them, you know, enthusiasm to lay eggs. So now that all that hard work is done, remember to go back and pull on those zip ties. So now that these are secured, we can plug this in and get it going. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this and that you are able to put light on your quail if you would like eggs through the wintertime. Please like and subscribe and share with somebody who you think this would help. Thank you.